We are living in a world of shadows. Imagine a car that runs on water, or a device that could cure any disease in seconds. These aren't sci-fi dreams, they were real patents, built by geniuses, and then they vanished. Why are we still using 100-year-old technology? Today we are opening the Forbidden Vault. Here are the 20 inventions the world wasn't supposed to see. Welcome to the stolen future.
1. The wheel. Around 3500 BC in ancient Mesopotamia, a simple circle of wood was carved. We call it the wheel. No name was recorded, but that one unknown hand built the foundation of movement. Without it, transport, civilization, and history may have stood still. 2. Electricity. In 1752, Benjamin Franklin flew a kite into a storm and captured lightning. But it was Michael Faraday in the 1830s who turned it into motion, and Thomas Edison in 1879 who gave it light. From sparks in the dark to a world glowing with power, this is the force that runs our lives. 3. Printing press. In 1440, in Germany, Johannes Gutenberg created a wooden machine that changed minds and empires. The printing press. For the first time, books weren't rare treasures. They were weapons of knowledge. And the world would never think the same way again. 4. Internet. Born in 1969 as ARPANET, a US military experiment, it began with 4 computers, but in 1989 Tim Berners-Lee gave it shape, the World Wide Web. Silent wires beneath our feet now carry the voice of humanity. This is the Internet. 5. Penicillin. In 1928, a mold was growing in Alexander Fleming's lab in London. He noticed it killed bacteria. That accident became penicillin, the world's first true antibiotic. It has saved over 200 million lives and counting. 6. Telephone. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell spoke into a device, and his voice traveled through wires. "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." With those words, the telephone was born, and the distance between humans began to shrink. 7. Airplane. December 17, 1903. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The Wright brothers launch a wooden machine, and it lifts. 12 seconds in the sky, enough to change the world. This was the first airplane, and the sky was never empty again. 8. Light bulb. After more than 1,000 experiments, in 1879, Thomas Edison made it glow. The electric light bulb. A glass sphere that turned night into day and cities into stars. One invention, and the dark was no longer dark. 9. Computer. In 1946, ENIAC, the first electronic general-purpose computer, came to life. It weighed 30 tons, but it could calculate in seconds. From there came silicon chips, laptops, and AI. This was the birth of the digital brain. 10. Camera. In 1826, Joseph Nicephore Niepce captured the first photograph. An image burned into metal by sunlight. From black and white moments to memories in 4K, the camera became our memory keeper, forever freezing time. 11. Paper. Over 2,000 years ago, in the heart of ancient China, a man named Kai Lun changed the course of history. Not with fire or steel, but with pulp and water. In 105 AD, he mixed bark, hemp, and scraps to create something simple yet revolutionary: paper. A thin sheet that would one day carry empires, religions, revolutions, and the human story itself. 12. Compass. It began as a floating lodestone in a quiet Chinese study, a magnetic needle that always pointed north. But in the hands of sailors and explorers, the compass became something far greater: a pathfinder across dark seas, a guide through unknown lands. Invented in 11th century China, it turned fear into discovery and maps into movement. 13. Gunpowder. In a quest for eternal life, Chinese alchemists in the 9th century stumbled upon something very different: death's greatest ally. Sulfur, charcoal, saltpeter. Mixed together, they created gunpowder. It roared across continents, turning castles into ruins and kingdoms into memories. A single spark, and the world of war would never be the same again. 14. Clock. For most of history, time was told by the sun, but in the 14th century, humanity decided to take control. From giant gears in European towers to the precision of Huygens' pendulum clock in 1656, time was no longer just passing. It was measured, divided, and obeyed. And once time was mastered, the world began to move in rhythm. 15. Writing system. Before words lived on pages, they lived in stories, passed by voice, shaped by memory. Then, around 3200 BC in Mesopotamia, humans carved meaning into clay. Cuneiform was born, the first writing system. With it came laws, trade, poetry, and permanence. Civilization had found its memory. 16. Steam engine. The world once moved at the pace of horses and wind. Then came steam. In 1765, James Watt refined the engine that would turn coal into power, and power into progress. Trains roared, factories hummed, and cities grew. Steam didn't just move machines, it moved the world into the modern age. 17. Telescope. In 1609, Galileo lifted a tube of glass toward the night sky and saw what no one had seen before: craters on the moon, moons around Jupiter. Through the telescope, Earth was no longer the center, just another traveler in a vast, mysterious universe. One glance, and the stars became closer than ever. 18. Radio. You know, the radio. That thing we almost take for granted today has a pretty interesting story. It was actually invented by a guy named Guglielmo Marconi back in 1895. Yeah, more than 100 years ago. At first, it wasn't really for music or fun stuff. People used it mostly in the military to send messages without wires. But then, by the early 1920s, everything changed. Radio started showing up in homes. People would sit together and listen to news, music. 19. Satellite. October 4, 1957. A beeping metal sphere named Sputnik slipped into orbit, and everything changed. Launched by the Soviet Union, it was the first artificial satellite. Suddenly, Earth had a mirror in the sky. It watched us, connected us, and launched humanity into the space age. 20. Artificial intelligence. It started as a question: can a machine think? From Turing's theories to neural networks, we built systems that could learn, adapt, even predict. In the 21st century, artificial intelligence isn't just code, it's creativity, logic, and language. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't feel, but somehow it learns. And that changes everything.